Okay, hello everyone. My name is Arion. I also go by Superfly Guy or AJ, and today I want to talk about the meta of TFT right now. And this video is going to be kind of ranty and a little bit different from the rest of my other gameplay videos, but I feel like I just have to just talk about it because nobody else is talking about it, and every time I try to bring it up in other players' streams, they seem to really just enjoy the meta or just enjoy what's happening. And I'm not sure if it's like a me problem or if it's like a mad cause bad type of thing or what, but the game seems really weird to me right now. So and let me say thank you to X Scoundrel for making his video, because he kind of inspired me to make my video and just talk a little bit more from I guess piggybacking off of what he said. For one, there's only 3 comps you can play right now, and that's either Jinx, Brawlers, Cybers, or Riven 6 Orcs. Now you can still make Vanguard Mystic work, and you can still make Protectors work, but for the most part you have to play those 3 comps, just Jinx, Cybers, and Sorks with Riven. Or maybe Bang Bus, because Bang Bus 2 is like a comp that works, but you gotta have direction towards it kinda. So, but it's still a comp regardless. So I was thinking maybe I'm just bad, because like I said, I go into people's stream and I try to talk about it with them, and they're just like, nah, I mean the meta seems fine, you just get Jinx, da 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 da. But I tune into their stream and either they're fucking high rolling out of their mind, they press D and they hit Aurelia 3 three Aurelias in one shot, or they're going 8th, and there's literally no in between. Every time I'm looking at a stream, they're either going 8th or they're high rolling, and it just seems like the way the game is now, you have to high roll so fucking hard for you to even be remotely for you to do remotely well in the game. We have to reach the top end that's so high. What is it? Thresh 2, ASO 2, Jinx 2, Aurelia 2. You have to find Echo, Urgot probably, depending on what your comp is. Not to mention the items that you need. If you're trying to play Vanguard Mystic, you need blue buff and you need Morello, which is debatable on how easy that is to get or not, depending on the meta. But it can be kind of hard at times. So that's the main problem with it. So I see pro players saying that they don't see anything wrong with it, but I'm kind of wondering if we're playing the same game, because like I said, either we're going 1st or we're going 8th. And I feel like the main reason for this is that high rollers are rewarded so very high. If you get Jinx at 3-2, you win the game, or you're at least top 4 for sure, right? If you hit any of the essential forecasts at stage 3, early stage 3, you're pretty much set for the game. You're pretty much guaranteed a top 4 if you don't make some other big mistake. And I think that's I think that's just flawed from a design perspective, right? How can somebody high rolling just immediately grant them LP in a sense, right? They just pressed D. They didn't even press D. They just found a fucking Jinx in their shop, and then boom, top 4, easy. Mad cause bad. What? Player diff. I don't understand how that's a thing, how that's even okay. And so high rolling right now, if you don't high roll, then you're kind of screwed. And not to mention, in my opinion, it feels like it's really hard for you to find natural 2 cost. There'll be some games where I'll have an okay early game, stage 2 I'll maybe have 2 wins and 3 losses, and it could be worse. It definitely could be worse, right? But at that point I'm in a position where I need to find my reliable 2 stars in order to stabilize. And so you can't really roll, and you can't you just kind of hoping that you high roll, right? We're in a meta right now where it seems like you're always hoping that you high roll. I guess you're always hoping that you high roll, but right now you're really hoping that you high roll, because if you high roll, you're just chilling. You're actually chilling. And it's so it's so mind numbing. It's so confusing, because you try to econ properly and you econ well enough to go 8. You go 8, roll down for Jinx, and then you can't hit Jinx, and then you scout and look and see that 2 guys at level 7 have Jinx 2, and you're sitting at 8 just wondering what the hell should you have done differently. Maybe you should have rolled at 7, but they already had 2 Jinxes on their bench beforehand. So maybe just don't play the comp at all, and then you're trying to contest Cybers against 3 other people. So it's what are your options really? What do you do? What can you actually do? It just seems like a lot of the times the best you can do is play for a 7th, and it's really demotivating, and it's really unrewarding for you to play the game where the best you could do is play for a 7th. I don't want to queue up for a 30-minute game and then at stage 5-1 I die and get 7th because I just didn't high roll, or I couldn't find my natural 2 stars. Like, I just don't understand. And I can even name specific units, like Fizz specifically, Syndra specifically, 2 units that are like extremely hard to find for whatever reason. Especially Syndra. Like, there'll be times where I'm playing Sorks and I can't find Syndra. I can't find 2-star Ari. I can't find 2-star Annie. Like, where are these units at? What is going on with the coding? Because, like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. It just actually makes no sense to me. Okay. So I think the high roll problem began when they initially changed how win streaking and lose streaking works. Because then it made it like it made people's playstyle a lot differently, right? Like, it made it a lot more punishing to lose. And a lot of time your best play is to lose, but like, it's just so much more punishing. So I think the high roll problem began when they initially changed how lose streaking and win streaking works. So here it is in the patch notes back in 10.8. We're making it more difficult to purposely lose streak open for it, as it will now risk being eliminated before stage 4-7. We still think lose streaking should still be a strategy, and especially a fallback for unlucky early shops, rolls, or slow compositions, but they should be actively trying to lose by small margins rather than happily full-on open forcing. Which I agree, but the way that it's being implemented right now and like the effects of this change is like, it just doesn't make sense, right? Like, it's like, I don't want to lose streak, but I'm forced to lose streak, and I can't find units that I need to find. And if somebody high rolls and find the Jinx, or they find an Aurelia, or they find anything, you know, anything worthwhile, like a Fizz by some fucking will of God, then like, I'm actually screwed, right? Like, how can I play a comp? How can I play only 3 comps that are meta right now, and they find an essential unit to the comp, and I'm low rolling still? How is that? What do I do? So I was thinking maybe it's a me problem, or maybe like I'm just not like thinking properly, because like I'm pretty sure there have been other metas where like only 3 comps have been viable, and then I actually decided to look at the other comp, like look at past patches and see what comps were meta. All right, so I was looking back at old patches to see if like there was ever another meta where it was just a couple of comps that were meta, and like you had to play one of these comps, like you have to forcefully play like 2 or 3 comps in order to like do well at the game. So in 10.8, there was Dark Stars. There was Dark Stars, there was Star Guardians, which was fucking broken, I remember that, but another topic for another thing, right? There was Cybers, there was Chrono Kill, Jinx, you know, Blaster Brawlers, and there was Mech Infill. So that is, no, and there was Bang Bros, yes. So that's 7 comps. That's 7 different comps that you could play at any given time, and you could play very flexibly. And maybe Bang Bros not so much, but for the most part you can play kind of flexibly, compared to right now where you can play Sork Riven, Jinx Brawlers, Cybers, Bang Bros Mech, and then Vanguard Mystic. Alright, in case you guys didn't see that, let's see. Riven, Sorks, Jinx Brawlers, Cybers, Mech, Vanguard Mystic. And even Vanguard Mystic, you can't even really like reliably play that, because this comp doesn't even win if you don't find the like, if you can't make it to level 9 and you can't put in Thresh Urgot, which was also nerfed, so this comp is overall just way worse, right? So that's only 4 comps that you can actually play. Only 4 compared to 7 at 10.8. I like like how did the developers not think about this, right? Like, we're in a meta where you can play 4 comps, and if you high roll any of these, any 4 cost, I mean 2-star that's a high roll and stuff, right? Then you're set. You're fucking set. You're actually set. Like, you have all the direction you need to do that. You just do it. You could probably, I wouldn't even be opposed to say, you could probably figure out a way to play Cybers. Like, if you find the Aurelia early, or if you like find a Vayne too early, you could probably just play Cybers with horrible items and still top 4 with it, just because of how much direction and how many people are actually going for that comp. Like, you could probably just hold the units and play that comp with trash items and still top 4 easily, which makes no sense. So 10.8 has 7 comps you could play. 10.9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 comps. You can play 9 comps in 10.9, and you could possibly top 4 with it, like, reliably. So let's do a countdown. for all the comps that were actually viable per patch, and how it's just trended towards less and less comps you can actually play reliably. Do that in 10.8, when they changed how lose streaking works, you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 comps. 10.9, in 10.9 you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 comps. In 10.10 you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We went from 9 to 7. So we went from 7 to 9 back to 7, and then we're at 10.11 now. And you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 comps. 10.12. This is when the mid-set update happened. You could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in 10.13, once everybody figured out how to play the game and what was good and what wasn't, you could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comps. So we've trended downwards. Like the every single patch, there seems to be less and less comps that you can play. And even this patch, infills is, Vanguard Mystic is even as good, right? Because to win with this, you have to have a top end of Thresh, and that's just not that's not reliable. You just can't do it. You just can't reliably get that every single game. If you have direction, maybe you can make it work, but for the most part, it doesn't work. So in conclusion, I think this meta exposes a problem that has been like just kind of building up and up and up since this change has happened with the lose streaking. Right? Because ever since this change, like ever since you force players to like just change how the econ well, okay, maybe lose streaking isn't to blame for it, because like no matter whether you win streaking or lose streaking, like if you high roll a Jinx and like there's only 3 comps that you can actually play, like if you're playing Jinx Cybers and there's only a couple comps you could play, it doesn't matter like how much money you have. It matters like if you can get the units or not. So I guess there's like a debate to be had there for sure about whether or not having enough money, because if people like naturally get these units, then it doesn't matter. Like if 4 people naturally get cyber units and you're sitting on 80 gold waiting to roll, like it doesn't matter, right? So I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to fix it. All I know is the game is really hard to enjoy right now, and it's getting really frustrating queuing up for a game and trying to play these comps that like I'm kind of forced into playing, and like spending 30-35 minutes and playing for a 5th or playing for a 6th, and then by some grace of God you get a 4th by some fucking grace of God, and then you queue it back up and you get an 8th, and it's like it's like, what are we doing? Why am I wasting my time playing TFT? And once again, I want to really reiterate how hard it is to find 2-star units, naturally at least. I understand that for the most part you shouldn't find that many 2-star units, but when you can't even find like a 2-cost 2-star during stage 3 and you're just sitting on a full 1-star board and you can't afford to actually roll because you're low rolling, what is your options there? Like you can't afford to roll because you're low rolling, and then you go 7, like you roll oh my god, this game is so frustrating because you can't afford to roll because you're low rolling, right? Which means you have to econ up to 50 or so, and then at like stage 3-5 you're forced to level to 7 and roll down, and from that point on you're playing for maybe a top 4, maybe, depending on how lucky you get, and if you low roll there you're actually going 8th, right? So you're just flipping the fucking coin and hoping that you hit, basically. Because if you roll at 7 at 3-5 and you don't hit anything, your game is done for. It's over. Like there's nothing you could do. You might as well just FF and go next, actually, because you're not finding shit. So in conclusion, just hit forehead. And there's a quick side note that I forgot to mention, and that's talking about how every comp seems to have the same top end in some way, shape, or form, right? Like every comp at the end, at stage 9 or at level 9, towards the end of the game, when it's only like 3 or so players left, you all want to be running ASO, you all want to either be running Echo, and you all want to be running Thresh. every single comp wants to run those 3 units in some way, shape, or form, right? Like maybe run Echo ASO, maybe run just Echo Thresh, maybe run Thresh ASO. Every comp wants that, and how that is just so infuriating to roll at 9. Like it's the entire game you're rolling for units that you can't find. Like the entire game you're just praying to God that you high roll. Why are we playing? Why is that the game we're forced to play, where we're just hoping that we can find this shit? Like it's already hard enough to get to level 9. It's already hard enough to get there, but once we get there, we can't even find the units that we want because 2 people ahead of us that already high roll hard enough and have hella HP to work with, and they're not even like fighting for their life anymore. They done found everything they need to find already. Like they're chilling. They already have Thresh 2 and 2 Urgots on bench. Or already have ASO 2 and have 2 other ASOs on bench while they got a Thresh 2 on board waiting to pull those 2 ASOs in. And that, like, it's just so, what are we, why are we playing this, bro? Come on. Like, it's kind of conflicting for a player like me, because like, for a TFT player in general, right? Because we just came off of ASO and Echo being basically useless. Like, Echo was just a cyber bot. Like, he just threw that bitch in just to get cybers, and ASO, you put him in for rebels, but like you wasn't really like fighting to find the ASO. And it's kind of crazy to me because like I'm kind of wishing that they weren't as broken as they were anymore, because then I wouldn't be forced to play those units, or I wouldn't be losing them as much, and wouldn't be as unrewarding to not find them, and like just it kind of be out of your control. It's kind of bittersweet, because it's always cool to see these units in play. Like seeing an Echo with three items just fucking auto attack the Jinx till she dies is always great to see. But every single game I have to find this guy. Every single game I gotta find ASO or I lose. Every single game I gotta find Thresh or I'm losing the game. Like, sheesh, bro. It just sucks. It honestly just sucks. It makes me, it quite literally makes me not want to play the game. That's all. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And also let me know what you guys think about the meta currently right now. I'm having a lot of frustrations with it, but maybe you're enjoying it, and maybe you have some like hidden OP like tech that you understand, that you just understand the game better than I do, and I would love to hear your opinions about it. So let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.